different backgrounds, and it's almost like everybody is different, but we have one similarity, which is the Buddhism, which is Dhamma, and to me that's like an interesting reflection, because one of the things that we practice in Buddhism is this idea of harmony. It's harmony, being able to get along with one another, especially being social beings, interacting with each other. Sometimes we can rub up against each other. Sometimes we can find fault. We point the finger, and we get upset at one another, and it happens everywhere, even in monasteries. Yeah, believe it or not, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. We practice. Do we practice differently? No, we practice the same. Meditation method is pretty much always the same: making peace, being kind, being gentle. Views are the same. We believe in rebirth. We believe in karma. The idea of enlightenment, ending suffering. All those things are the same. But in another way, we're different as well. And sometimes the differences are the things that rub up against each other. Yeah. We have our so-called defilements, like greed, hatred, and delusion, and these things can kind of cause tension in a community. Like one of the things, like, oh, you're too greedy, or something like that, or oh, you're too attached, or oh, you're too angry. Sometimes we throw those comments at one another, and these kinds of things cause disharmony within the community. And that's kind of understandable, because not everybody thinks the same. And you can kind of like, if you think about relationships, if husband and wife would think the same, would there be any fights? If two monks are working on a work site and we think the same, do you think we'll have any disagreements on how to hang the plasterboard or how to paint the wall? No, because we're thinking the same. And in the same way, if the whole community thinks in the same way, do you think there'll be any fights? No, there wouldn't be any fights. But because there are differences, there's always going to be tension. But the one nice thing that kind of comes out of all of this, that helps us to create more harmony, is this idea that we are all in it for the same reason. The monks we're in it for the same reason. We even though we may not get along with each other sometimes, but we're in it because we want to learn how to meditate. We're in it because we believe in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. And in the same way, if you're Buddhist as well, you believe in karma, you believe in rebirth, there is a common thread that kind of unites everyone together. And I think having that thought, that we are all have the same belief, or we're kind of practicing in the same way, that brings us together in a sense that we can try to work together for harmony. And that's one of the lovely things about having such a ceremony that we are going to have this weekend. Hands up, anybody going to show up for Sunday? Oh, this is a different crowd, eh? No. It's only a few of us showing up for Sunday, but I'm one of them as well. I haven't shown up for the Waisak in many years. I think I've only been to one 1 or 2, maybe 1. Yeah. And I've been around for a long time. So it will be interesting to see the amount of people that gather, the inspiration and the happiness that it brings people, and almost like there's like a devotion there, or a respect, or even a love for the Buddha, basically. And that's what Wesak is about. It's about this one man that plays a huge, important role in a Buddhist life. So he was very kind, because he only asked for 1 ceremony. He didn't ask for 3 or 4 a year, just 1. So he told us to come together to celebrate his birth, his enlightenment, and his death. Because he knows how much hard work organizing a ceremony can be. So he told us to just have one every year. So thank you. And but then you can. So we come to these ceremonies for different reasons. Yeah. And for some of us, it's because this person is important. It's helped us get onto this path of Buddhism. This person kind of like taught us how to meditate, or has even given us a little bit of hope to have these teachings that kind of bring more peace into our lives. And we can, if you go around talking to Buddhists, or even people who come here and listen to the talks, from all sorts of monks and all sorts of nuns, and you ask them, why do you come here? Why do you come here? And one of the reasons why they come to a place like this is because it has changed their lives in some sort of way. And change their lives for the better. Why do you come here, if you ask yourself? You come here because over the years, you've become a more kinder person. You come here because over the years, you've developed some peace in your mind. Or you come here over the years because you've got some sort of understanding about the Buddha's words and how they have helped you. And that's kind of the funny thing. The funny thing about listening to talks and listening to teachings, and kind of observing the mind to see when do they arise and how do they help you out in daily life. And because we've all been in that situation where we've come here on a Friday night and we've listened to hundreds of talks, and then we live our daily lives and and then we get into situations where things might be troublesome, but for some reason the Dhamma doesn't appear and help us out. Ajahn Brahm's teachings on the 2 bad bricks does not appear in my mind, so I end up finding fault within this person, or I'm just getting caught up with like one thing that people like to get, like the news, whatever's happening in the news. I'm just getting caught up in it, and the monks and the nuns, they tell me to let go, but I don't let go because for some reason it's one thing to listen, right, and another thing is for it to kind of manifest in your daily life to help you out. So sometimes that happens, and we can all kind of nod our heads and say, yes, I know what that means, if it's kind of true. But then what I've noticed over the years is that sometimes these things do manifest. Yeah. And instead of finding fault with somebody, instead of looking at their 2 bad bricks. You kind of start looking at their 998 good bricks. And what happens is your kind of mood and your emotions, or the way you look at that person, changes. You're not angry at that person anymore, but you're more accepting. And it's also like with this idea of letting go. It's one of these words that kind of get thrown around all the time. Buddhists love saying the word letting go. I love saying it myself. But how often do we do it? You know what I mean? How often does it come up into our minds to kind of play a role in our lives that can help us out? And sometimes it does. We may find ourselves in a tricky situation, and instead of going off to our old habits and our old ways of doing things, we decide to let go. We decide not to think about things too much. And recently I've just been reflecting on the idea of letting go. And one of the things about being a Buddhist is also being just, we're doing this because we want to become peaceful beings, We want to be human beings which, don't have too much clutter in the mind. We want to have clarity. We kind of want to move through life without too much stress. It's kind of nice, eh? Just walking through life without too much stress, without taking any pills. It's kind of sad, really, when you think about how young kids get medicated these days at a young age, where they could have tried something else to kind of deal with the problems first. But anyways, that's how things are. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it go. If you know what I mean, yes. So you're learning how to let go. And what does letting go mean? To me, it basically means not to worry too much. And we can worry about so many things. One thing we like to worry about is what's happening in the news. Yeah, people do talk about it a bit too much, and they seem to be overly invested and overly worried about it. And you can kind of tell that it does affect their minds in an unpeaceful way. So, and it's not to say that reading the news is not recommended, but we can kind of learn how to deal with it in a different way. We can have this attitude of letting go towards it. We can inform ourselves, and don't get too invested, don't get too involved. Like we get emotional about these things, and we get carried away with the anger or the unjust. And the truth is, you can't really do anything about it. Does your anger change anything? Does a feeling of injustice make a difference? No, not really. If you think of it in that way, then it also helps us let go a lot easier. But if you think about it, this practice of letting go is actually quite a beautiful practice, because you're not only letting go of what's happening in the news, you're trying to let go of all other aspects in your life. And what I mean is the things that pop up into your head. And one of the things that kind of can pop up into your head is planning for the future. We plan for the future. What do we plan? we plan for a holiday. And sometimes we're planning for a holiday and we're thinking, oh, I've got to get my suitcase ready. I gotta book the ticket. Gotta make sure I have all my medication, sanitizers. What else? What else do we take on holidays? I don't go on holidays, so I wouldn't know. Clothes, credit card, and when we're planning for holidays, you can kind of see how your mind can kind of spin and get out of control and actually start to cause you stress. And with this letting go is that, okay, we know that we need a plan, but at the same time we try to let go of it as well. So what we're doing is we're kind of half planning, we're not taking it too seriously, and we're kind of trusting life that things will work out okay. And usually things do work out okay. I'm pretty sure you have friends out there who are masters of letting go. You have that friend, right? They don't really worry about stuff. They don't stress about the future. They're just pretty chill. I'm pretty sure. No? Everybody stresses out? Okay. Living that type of stuff. But you just imagine you have that type of friend, right? He's just chill, he lets go, and he's chill, he lets go. He's really successful. He doesn't think too much. He travels everywhere. He travels to Indonesia. Tomorrow he's traveling to Melbourne. Huh? Oh yeah, He's traveling to Melbourne, and he has all these things on his plate. He has a plan. When he was a young monk, he planned. Oh, I gave it away. He planned building Bodhinyana Monastery. He planned building Jhana Grove, and he had to deal with all these troublesome monks. Now we're pretty good. He had to deal with all these monks. He's completely relaxed. He's letting go, and does his whole world fall apart? No, it doesn't. For some reason, it doesn't fall apart, and things kind of work out. They work out because you learn not to hold on to things, or not to maybe holding or grasping. Grasping is probably a better word. Is like grasping. I think it's okay to hold on to things, but when you start grasping at it, then it sort of becomes a problem. Like you're grasping at, somebody may have said something which isn't kind towards you. You may hold on to it for a little bit, and you let it go. It's not a problem. But when you start grasping onto it, you hold it, it stays in your mind, it doesn't go away, then it becomes a problem. And so we learn how to do the opposite, and we learn how to kind of trust life to work itself out. And I think there is evidence really to support the idea of letting go and not worrying too much or having too many things in your mind. And we may think, how can I ever get anything done if I don't worry? How can I get anything done if I don't prepare myself? How can I get anything done if I don't think about the future? Some of us, sometimes that happens to us. It stresses us out. And yes, doing things those ways, because it has worked before for you in the past, it will work for you again in the present or in the future. But there's also another way. there's also this stress-free, more peaceful way of using our minds to kind of get things done in our life. And the thing about letting go, letting things go, is what you're doing, what you're actually doing is you're actually creating a more peaceful mind. Yeah. And what is a peaceful mind? A peaceful mind is like almost like an empty mind. A mind that kind of lives in the moment. A mind which has clarity. A mind which doesn't have too much clutter. And because it doesn't have too much clutter, we can kind of see more clearly, and our thoughts are kind of more efficient. We can get things done. And the reason why a cluttered mind or a mind that worries too much is inefficient is because we spend too much time thinking about those things. We're spending too much time worried about stuff. Our mind's occupied by that, so we don't have that clarity to kind of get things done. And having that clarity, having that mind, which is kind of free and spacious, and it doesn't think too much, allows us to kind of think more clearly, if you get what I mean. If you worry too much, how can you think clearly? You can't, because the worrying is clouding up your thoughts. It's clouding up your mind. It's creating a thing that's called like brain fog, and we can't really just get through our day that well. But with this practice of letting go, of clearing the mind actually becomes more clearer, and it doesn't really need too much worrying, too many instructions to get things done. And that's a way, I think that's a way to kind of use the practice of letting go to help you live a more peaceful life. Yeah. And I've kind of noticed that the other day. Is like, why do we let go? It's like we get told to let go all the time. Ajahn tells us to let go, and our monk friends tell us to let go, and and we're kind of doing it all the time. And it's like sometimes we don't understand. Sometimes we don't understand why are we letting go. Do you ever think that? Why am I letting go? But then you have moments where you have clarity of mind, and you can see, oh, this is the reason why I'm letting go. It's because I can actually start to feel or experience peace. Peace. It's very simple. Peace. Who wants to experience peace? Yeah. It's very simple. And this is, I think this is the way to do it. And it's something that doesn't happen. Like I like to use the the old commercial, Pantene Pro Veen. It will happen, but it will happen. It doesn't happen overnight. It will happen, but it doesn't happen overnight. And then you just have these moments where you just have almost like an understanding of why you let go, and you can start to feel you start to feel the peace. You're living a peaceful life. And I think this is one of the reasons why we get taught these things. I mean, you just look at your own mind, and look at how it gets caught up in things, and look at how, whether it can let go or not. And yeah, it's just one of these things that that sometimes, just going back to the idea of Waisak and being a Buddhist, and also being a part of a religion, is that we kind of have faith. We have this thing called faith, and it's pretty much a belief in what others say the teacher or the Buddha or whoever, and we really do not know whether it works or not, but we have faith in it. So we try it out. We try it out, and we experiment to see whether these things work or not. And yeah, I think like experimentation, with our own minds and with the teachings, is something which is kind of like it's encouraged, and it's not, and it's something that we kind of get taught that if it doesn't work for us, then we don't have to believe it. And that's one of the nice things about Buddhism. When I was a young monk, it kind of teaches you to think for yourself. Yeah, even though it's a religion, even though there's faith there as well, there's belief, but at the same time, the Buddha advised us not to kind of take on these teachings blindly, but instead to think for ourselves. And what he basically said was, is like these teachings are here. I will teach them, and my advice to you is to put them into practice, and then if they work for you, you can follow them. They're useful to your life. But if they don't make sense to you, then you don't have to believe. You don't have to follow. And that's like one of the nice things about this religion, is because it gives you that freedom to kind of make up your own mind, or kind of you can decide what you want to believe in. But at the same time, this idea of faith is interesting, because it kind of makes us do things that we probably wouldn't want to do. And this idea of faith, it gives us the belief that certain things can happen. Things like enlightenment, things like, the deep meditations. And sometimes without this faith, it doesn't give us the motivation to put the steps in order to experience, the peace and the enlightenments that people have experienced in the past. And I think that's sometimes we kind of need it. We kind of need it as human beings. Is sometimes we may feel down on ourselves or think that we cannot do it. This lofty goal of just being able to let go, or to meditate for half an hour and be peaceful. I've tried it before, and it doesn't seem to work. So sometimes we kind of need examples to encourage us, to kind of let us know that it's possible. And I'm fortunate enough to have a teacher like Ajahn Brahm, who I believe is he's a gem. He's a gem, and yeah, and it's like a very rare being in this world. And I remember when I was a younger monk, and I was just trying to find my way in a monastery. Anagarika, I was wearing white, and I was just trying to find my way in the monastery. You know, it's like, oh, how do I behave? And in my mind, I thought, oh, I'm gonna. One of the thoughts, I remember it now, is like in my mind, I thought, I'm gonna leave the world. And at a young age, I left at a very young age, and I leave the world and joined the monastery. And in my mind, I always thought it was going to be like the military. you have these, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, no, not 6, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a sergeant there, and he's going to tell you what to do, and you got to do as you're told. So I had that idea in my mind, and I was prepared for the situation to be like that. But not so. I went there not knowing what I was getting into, but in my mind, I wanted to go there to I think basically it was to practice meditation. And yeah, and better myself as a human being. And I think I was too attached to my PlayStation 3, so I had to give it up. It's a joke. It's a joke. And then when you're just very green, and so they say very green, and in a new environment, not knowing your capabilities, or if you can do enough to let go, or do enough to meditate, you doubt yourself. You doubt yourself, and when you're there, you're trying to look for some sort of sign, or some sort of indicator that kind of gives you that encouragement that you can do it. And sometimes I think that's all we need, is that encouragement to do it. I mean, the teachings are all there. I mean, we tell you to be good people, keep the 5 precepts, meditate, and we hear it, but we just sit on our bums. We don't do it. And sometimes we kind of need that encouragement to do it, to go out and volunteer your time, to put your bums on the meditation cushion, to learn the Dhamma, all those kinds of things that can kind of help us develop ourselves as human beings. It's not like it's also a practice of doing, really. It's not just trying to figure out the universe in our own minds, but there's also a physical aspect to it. When we talk about the Eightfold Path, there's like one of the paths is like right livelihood. Is basically what you do physically, yeah. And one of the physical things you can do is go out and help other people. I remember when one of our drivers, he's very, very tall. He's very tall. He was like a giant. Very tall. Oh, very tall. And very Caucasian. Caucasian. He's probably listening to this talk tonight. And I was just doing my usual Bunnings run. I know a lot of you males can relate. Doing our Bunnings runs. Huh? And, oh yeah, the garden section, right? No? Yeah, garden section. Or maybe paint. Who knows? Yeah. And, yes. So, and he just showed me like a random act of kindness without me telling him what to do. And what he did was he saw an old lady. He saw an old lady pushing a cart full of stuff. I was like, "Oh, you had a good time in Bunnings." And it was like, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, look at the trolley. It's just full of stuff." It's like, I can't imagine her carrying it into her car. So he's so we were ready to go. We were sitting in the car, and he stopped me. He said, Ajahn, can I please get out of the car and help that lady out? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So he gets out of the car and he helps out that lady. And isn't that a lovely thing to do? Just being able to just do something like that adds a little bit of happiness into our lives, and it kind of, I was talking about encouragement, talking about encouragement, and just giving us that confidence that we can kind of do these things ourselves. And just a simple act of helping somebody out like that is actual practicing for a better life. And it's something, it's called good karma, or making merit. And sometimes, living in a monastery, sometimes we can as people, not just monks, but just as people, I think we forget to do something good. We can go and live our lives for months without helping anybody, and I think that that's kind of a common thing. So sometimes it's nice to just reflect that even though you're helping somebody out or giving up your time, sometimes we think, oh, we're giving up our time. I'd rather spend that time for myself and do what I want to do. But instead, another attitude to have is to give up your own time for somebody else, where it could be valuable, where you're not getting anything from it, but you're just doing it because you want to make some good karma, you want to make some merit. And that was just one of the nice reflections that I had just earlier this week. I was just walking down from the senior monks' quarters, and there's this massive deck, like just to my right is a deck, but it's going to be like a multi-purpose hall for Kusala Hermitage, and I'm going to be putting a lot of work into it, and also the monks at the Hermitage. We're going to be spending hours working on the project. We're going to be doing a lot of Bunnings runs. Yeah. I should be getting a gold card soon. I've been there so many times. But they don't give them out. And just looking at that amount of work that is ahead of us, one can start to complain, Oh, it's just going to take up all my time. I can't spend time getting my beauty sleep. I can't sleep that 12 hours that I want. I was just joking. But you know what I mean. I can't have my afternoon naps, or, I want to do my own thing. And it's kind of, you can see the mind just picking up the 2 bad bricks, whereas, it can pick up the 998 good bricks by just looking at what the future holds in that type of project. The amount of work that you're going to put into it, the cladding that goes up, the paint, and all these kinds of things. And sometimes, like Ajahn Brahm will tell me, don't work too hard. But then I kind of say to him, I don't mind working too hard because I know it's worth it. Yeah, I know it's worth it because you're going to end up with a small hermitage, monastery for other people to use, a place for them to go to meditate, to feed the monks, because we're always hungry, to hang out with us, because we're kind of cool too. And just to enjoy the good vibes. And so so when you think about the positives, basically you're just thinking about the positives. You can find reasons to do it. Reasons to give up your time. Really, that's a hard thing for people to do. Give up their own time. It's like my time. I want to do what I want to do. And give it to somebody else. Give it to a cause. Go and pull the weeds in your mother's house or something like that. I'm pretty sure she'll cook you your favorite meal for dinner. But just going back, I just went on it. But just going back, like just me going into a monastery, and when I was quite young and not knowing how to navigate this path of Buddhism and to do it in a way where I can fulfill my wishes to become a better person, better meditator, etc., etc. And just needing those kind of indicators or just giving those things that you can see that allows you to have that possibility that you could do it yourself, and just being able to observe somebody like Ajahn Brahm. Ajahn Brahm for the first couple of weeks, and to me he was just like a normal guy. He was just a normal guy, and I remember one thing was he would just walk around the table to collect the food. He would just walk around. This is like 20 over years ago, and he'd just joke around, cracking jokes, laughing. I'm like, yeah, this is my kind of place. And because I thought to myself, it's going to be a strict place, and it's going to be a strict place. You got to be a certain way, but somebody like Ajahn Brahm, he kind of goes around just being natural, just laughing, joking around, being kind, being a human being, and also being able to be a great example of what practice can kind of, the result of good practice can be. And if a guy from England who tells really bad jokes can do it, and have hairy ears can do it, why can't we? You know what I mean? Why can't we? And that's kind of like reassuring. It's like, if others can do it, so can us. So that's so can us. So, just give it a go. Give it a go, and just remember, it will happen, but it doesn't happen overnight. and and just I think one of the just like more organic kind of visualizations on how the path works is like this is from like the monks from Thailand, the Thai tradition, where Ajahn Brahm kind of started. And these simple monks who live in the forest who took examples from where they lived to kind of describe how the path kind of unfolds, and they would for most part they would use the idea of growing a tree. Very simple example, like growing a tree. Yeah, growing a tree, but you're growing a tree from a seed. And if you want a tree that is fully grown and bears a lot of fruit, you got to give it time. And sometimes the fruit could mean like the fruit of wisdom, or you can sit under the shade of a cool tree, which is kind of like the mind that you've developed over the years. But the main point that they're trying to make is that you kind of need to give it time in order for something like a tree to grow. It doesn't grow in 2 or 3 years. It takes 4, 5, 6, depending on what type of tree you're growing. But eventually, the tree will grow. But we human beings are clever. We know how to make that tree grow faster. Yeah, we feed it, we look after it. We feed it fertilizer, we give it water, we put it in the right position, it needs the sun, and people talk to trees. You talk to your tree, and then ask it to grow quicker, and it grows quicker. But you kind of need that care. You need to kind of tweak it a little bit, and it kind of grows. And it will grow eventually. And it's the same with this path of personal growth. It's not coming here to run a sprint, but instead of being in a marathon, it takes time. And we kind of looking after the tree is similar to nourishing our own minds. We nourish our own minds with the Dhamma. Making good karma, meditating, studying, and these kinds of things, they help us become more better people. But the main point that I'm trying to make is that we need the patience. We need to wait for these things to kind of unfold. And yeah, and that's the thing. That's the wonder. I think that's the one. Really, that is the wonder of the path. Is that things unfold. They just unfold. Like you have moments where things unfold and you have more understanding into what letting go is, or you have moments where things unfold and you understand what it feels like to be peaceful. Or you have moments where you've been kind of living this life and things unfold and you kind of know how it feels like to be a more loving and caring person. So these things, they don't manifest. They really don't manifest by you making them happen, but they manifest by you, you putting in the causes, and waiting, and eventually these things unfold in front of you, giving you the experience of what letting go is, giving you the experience of being a kinder, more caring person. And I think I would like to end the talk there, and we can open up for some questions. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Yeah, please. Thank you. Yes.
Ajahn Santutthi,
Yes.
thanks for the good talk,
Yes.
You're advising us, on how to let go, okay, and live a good Buddhist life,
Yes.
to make ourselves peaceful and happy.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing, yeah. Thanks very much for that. Yeah. You see, well, as you talk this thing, okay, I was referring to myself how I practice the things.
Yeah.
Was the 8 winds, that I rely a lot in praise and blame, profit and loss.
Yeah.
Equanimity. That helps a lot. I got a magnet in the fridge, the 8 winds. So every time I refer to it. Oh, that helps a lot. The other thing I want to talk to you is you mentioned about the Ajahn Brahm's 2 bad bricks. Yeah. That's true, The thing is, we as human beings, there's a deep tendency on us, If we a good friend, a good friend who does everything good, One there is a little mistake, we harp on the mistake, and we view the person as bad, Isn't it? That's that tendency for me too,
Yeah.
So I use this, but that's if you use this thing, it's not good for you, Yeah, and also the Buddha was saying, it's hard to see our own fault, easy to see others' fault,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I was just reflecting, like we're human beings and we have greed, hatred, and delusion, and because we're unenlightened, it's okay to have them as well. You can't expect to be perfect. Yeah, we're going to get angry at one another, but I think at the same time, if you understand that you have your own problems and others do too, then that way you can kind of be easier on each other. There's no need to be too hard. Because we all not perfect. So
also, like just now you're saying doing good,
Huh?
As you're saying doing good.
Yeah.
It's part of, to make us happy too, say,
Yeah. It's just amazing. It is amazing to see the amount of generosity surrounding this kind of this community. Yeah. I mean, the monks and the nuns get looked after really well. I mean, people wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to cook for us. You know what I mean? That's a huge effort, and it's a rare thing to see. And these people, they kind of need to be praised. They deserve the praise, actually.
That's right. And they also by doing good, they feel happy to. Only this afternoon, as you say, doing good. I received this phone call from this person. I know this person. I said, "Oh, Eddie, I need your help. Okay." They want to give a lot of donation away. They are very rich. They work. They've got millions of dollars. And I said, "Oh, you just wait. Ajahn Brahm is in Melbourne. When he comes back, I'll take you to see him. This thing." You see this, like a Buddhist. After a while, they realize, this good. Like, you can't take the money with you,
Yeah, you can't take your money with you.
That you need to do good to receive the good karma, the happiness and peace.
Yeah.
Thank you for the talk. Very nice talk tonight.
Okay, thank you. No problem. Any more questions? Yes, young man at the front.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the meditation guidance.
Yes.
And Dhamma talk as well.
Yes.
I got a question about just recently I got a little bit of a problem to talk to people that are too much in their mind. for example, right? Like too much sort of like, I don't know, too much talking about the news and, you know, the petrol prices going up and stuff like this and stuff like that. I'm trying to practice, you know, so I'm just like letting go, you know. I mean, like, you go on Tuesday to the petrol station and you fill up anyway, right? So what's the problem? But you don't understand, you know, it's really this and it's really that. And I'm like, you know, like, calm down. But then they sort of like, when they talk to you, they are not happy with the responses that you give them. It's kind of like strange, you know. So practice Dharma and then like live in the real world and speak to like real people, colleagues at work. You know, it sort of like clashes. So
I know
how to resolve this? Like, is there any
I think just live by who you want to be. Live by who you want to be. And learn to listen to the way people speak without getting annoyed, or without fault finding, and I think it's actually a good way to practice acceptance, because in your mind, because you want to do something else in terms of how you want to focus your mind on letting go and not worrying about these things, and when these people are just rabbiting on about these issues, and then we can see that our minds are getting caught up. Why are they complaining? Why they shouldn't be doing this? And you can kind of see that it's not their problem anymore. It becomes your problem, because you're labeling what they're doing as complaint and stuff like that. So instead, we kind of learn how to accept, and we accept. We allow people to be, and sooner or later, they walk off to the next room. And you walk up to your room, and you're by yourself. And because you didn't get worked up, you allowed things to be, you can just easily move on with what you're going to do next. Because, you know, I've been around people like that too. You know, people talk like that sometimes. And it's just a part of who people are, you know. That's how they think. And that's how they think. If they're complaining, they complain. But you understand that's also their problem, is not yours. So you don't need to get caught up in that negativity. Yeah. No problems, Next question. Yes.
So help me out, Ajahn.
Yes.
I was asked to... I don't think I'm going to accept this offer, but I was asked to be part of a discussion with an interfaith group.
Oh, yeah? Who?
Well, HWPL.
HWPL.
So, anyway, the question is, the theme is our beginning as spoken from the scriptures. The question is, according to each scripture, how is the beginning of all things explained? Also, how is the beginning and existence of humans explained? And I looked at that and go, oh my God.
Yes, that's what I would do too.
Spare the blasphemy, but where do you even start with that?
Oh, people like to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. And I thought, you're a good, happy, jovial person. You'll have a...
People like to think about... I was just talking to somebody and recently, and just people just like that. They like facts, they like information, you know, things like that. And yeah, just people are wired differently, I suppose. And that thing
true.
is, those things are... There are people out there who are really into that kind of stuff, and those are the ones that know what to say and have done the study, and they're the ones that are fitting to join those discussions. I think somebody like me would be like, when's my next Bunnings run?
Yeah, do we launch into a discussion of dependent origination or
so it's just
evolution
really
or what?
it's more of a discussion on knowledge really, and not experience. Yeah.
Well, I actually think it's a bit of a tautology, really, because if form was emptiness and emptiness was form, why are we worried about these human forms anyway?
Yeah. Anybody else? No, okay. Oh, one more person, yes. Kane.
Thank you, Ajahn. I was just reflecting what Sandra was asking on the beginnings of things. I mean, in a sense, don't we also think about those things in a different way? Like, what are the underlying mechanisms of things, maybe?
Underlying what?
Mechanisms of things, or what are the reasons?
Yeah, it's interesting, People find it interesting, I can see that, But then at the same time, people can just say it's a lot of gobbledygook. A lot of people out there that say that too, Yeah. Okay, I'll answer some of these questions. Do I need to answer all of them? I do, okay. Okay, question from Germany. Dear Ajahn, when meditating, how can I develop and strengthen my patience and endure myself and carry that patience and strength into my daily life and find peace in meditation? Thanks, Ajahn. Oh yeah. Ajahn Brahm's famous quote, making peace, being kind, being gentle, just being able to relax in meditation. And that's one of the things, one of the skills really, one of the skills that really help, I think, with the meditation practice, especially with restlessness, because when one has a restless mind, one tends to not meditate for too long. And when you don't meditate long enough, then you don't really get the benefits of the practice. And this method of, well, it's not even really a method, but like if you know how to deal with, I think if you know how to deal with restlessness, you are able to generate more patience in your practice. And what patient means is that if you just set a timer, this goes against the grain, I think, of what Ajahn Brahm teaches, but if you set a timer and kind of make yourself sit for 1 hour. This is just an experiment. You don't have to do it every time. And you sit for 1 hour, and you don't mind whatever is going to appear in your mind. Whether it's greed, hatred, delusion, sleepiness, restlessness, all those things, anything goes. Anything goes that arises in your own mind. If one can be relaxed and not worry about whatever's happening, it's hard to explain. It's like you're not worried about what's happening. You can be chill, you can be cool with whatever's going on. That in itself helps you practice patience. And that in itself helps you overcome the restlessness in your meditation practice. The one reason why people become restless is because they're not patient enough. Because they're not patient enough. Like, what I mean by patient is they're not willing to allow the hard emotions or the hard thoughts that stop us from meditating. Some of us, we meditate and then we find it challenging after 5 minutes. It may be a feeling that we get, or maybe a thought. And what happens is we give up. We get up and we don't meditate. But if you learn how to relax, and when those hard feelings come up, or those thoughts that come up to tell you, don't meditate, you kind of ignore them. You ignore them, but not in a negative way, but in a calm way. You're relaxed, and this kind of like relaxation, it kind of allows you to be with whatever is happening now. Even though you want to quit, you want to stop, but you're able to be here. And this is how we practice patience, is to be able to sit through those difficult times and see the fruits that come from it. And we all know, if we've meditated long enough, that these difficult times will arise, but they disappear. It sounds cliche. Everybody says it, but they disappear. They disappear, and what is left is a peaceful mind. Those hard feelings, why is it a peaceful mind? Because those hard feelings have gone. Why is it a peaceful mind? It's because those hard thoughts, they're not there anymore. And there's actually like, if you want to describe your meditation, I think you can either call it hard, and it's difficult, we sit and it's difficult, or it could be soft. And when it's soft, it's nice. It's easy to explain, it's nice, it's peaceful. And this is how you carry the patience through your life, or the patience into your life, where you carry into your life, and you're patient. Like, if you know how to be patient with your mind when it's going through a difficult time, where it's angry or whatever, and you can place that patience onto somebody else. Say, for example, sometimes where I live, sometimes people do get on my nerves. It's on my nerves, and I have these reactions. But because I've been practicing patience, I can kind of put that patience onto them in a way where I do not overreact, or I do not act to the way they're talking, or to the way they're kind of the energy that they're giving off, or whatever. And instead, you just learn how to accept and be patient. And usually these things, when you're patient, the kind of feeling that you get by being around certain type of, like, other people's mind states, they may affect you. But if you're patient enough, that feeling that you have, or that you're carrying within, those things will they disappear. And they disappear through patience. And whatever that person said, or however that person triggered you, it doesn't matter, because you're not carrying it with you anymore. Yeah. And that's how you practice patience. Like, you're patient with yourself, and you learn how to be patient with others. You don't snap, you don't crack. You just patiently move on. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Ajahn. Please describe the definition of meditation in Buddhist verses. What is put there, and what is it that we do in retreats? What do we aim for? Buddhism verses. Well, I don't know what it means by that, but what is it that we do in retreats, and what do we aim for? There's so many teachings. But just to keep it short, what you do on retreats is, a nice way to put it is, it's a way for you to escape from the world. That's actually quite nice. Do you want to escape from the world? Have a holiday? Go on retreat? I think that's one of the nice things about going on retreat. If you can take a few days off, go on a weekend retreat or 5-day retreat, and a nice way of looking at it is basically taking a break from your life. Sometimes I like to see things in that way. I take a break from being the builder in the monastery. Oh, that's so nice. Don't have to do anything. You take a break from your own life when you go on retreat. That's kind of nice. Don't have to think about your dog. Don't have to, I don't know what else you think about. Don't have to think about your cat, your garden, bills to pay. No worries. You don't need to think about it. That's great. So yeah, that's one of the benefits when you go on retreat. And what do you aim for? Oh, I don't know. What did Ajahn Brahm say? You aim for nothing. Yeah. It's just so, that's kind of funny, you aim for nothing, but you get everything. Isn't that nice? It's kind of Zen, isn't it? You do nothing to get everything. Everything good. Okay, anyways. James is still have a question. I have an exam. There is a lot to learn. I don't know how to remember all these information. Can you tell me how to handle exam pressure and exam stress? Oh, I can really relate to this because I was never a person who could hold information in my mind, and I still can't do it. So, yeah. Sometimes we're good at things and sometimes we're not. And it's just a part of your life that you have to go through. Just do your best. Just do your best. And if you don't do too well, try not to stress over it, because there's other things that you can do in life, to make money, have a good life, and that's all you really need to do. So, in a sense, I would advise you to just try your best. Try your best, because you don't want to look at it in 5-10 years' time and kind of see it in a way where you didn't try enough and you could have thought, oh, what if I tried a little bit better, I could have done this, and that. And when you kind of talk about, when you want to look at it from an angle of meditation, Ajahn Brahm speaks about it a lot of the time. He kind of says that if you meditate, you have a quiet mind, it's kind of easier to retain information. He's given examples of where people listen mindfully, and because they listen so well, they remember the information. They don't need to study. They go to do the exam and they pass. And another nice memory is of Ajahn Brahm. He actually has a really good memory, and one of the things that he was good at was the pop quizzes that they would have in classes, and the teachers would ask names of just weird questions, and he would actually recall what the teacher said. He said, I only had to listen to it once, but I remember. And one of the things that he remembered, I can't remember the word because I'm just like this guy here, I just can't retain information. And he what is it? He said, what was the female name for a duck? Does anybody know the female name for a duck? Huh? Pen. Female name for a duck is Pen. And he remembered that. And he was like 19 years old. So some people have this ability to recall things like that. And he kind of gives the example, if you listen fully in class, you give your studies 100%, I think the results that come from that effort is the best result that you can have. And the rest is basically up to your natural ability, you would say? Yeah. Okay. All right. Question. What sin did Lord Buddha do for Devadatta to come behind him in Lord Buddha's previous birth? Devadatta seemed to come behind Lord Buddha's life seeking revenge. How to handle such karma? Oh. Well, I think just with the idea of karma. I mean, this word has been thrown around for many years in my life and in other Buddhist lives, and sometimes we can think endlessly about these things, and sometimes I think it's not really important to focus too much on these types of questions about what type of karma did such and such do for this result to happen. And in this instance, he's talking about what did the Buddha do to have somebody like Devadatta wanting to take revenge on him. And sometimes when you kind of think about the good and the bad that people do, or what we receive through karma, it's kind of endless. And the reason why it's endless is because I like to think about it in ways of we live multiple lifetimes, like a zillion. Like if you study the Buddhist texts and you talk to many Buddhists, they'll probably tell you that we've been reborn a zillion, a quadrillion million times, heaps of times. It's like uncountable. So if that is the case, there's always going to be a good and bad karma, and you don't really know when it's going to happen or when it's going to arise. And because of that, I don't really think that we need to give too much thought into these kinds of things, because it just ends up in proliferation. Yeah, it just ends up in what ifs, and you're kind of like wasting time thinking in this manner. So that's my kind of take on that. And that's it. We can go home. Okay. Oh, thank you.